There are three things that lie behind the Tommy Robinson case that worry me. The first two are on the side of Tommy Robinson, the third is on the side of the Syrian lad. I'll take it backwards. The Syrian lad first. I think there should be a principle, there is a principle, that children are protected and shielded from the full gaze of the media. And Tommy Robinson hasn't respected that principle. More than that, he hasn't respected the principle laid down by the judge. That's worrying. On the other hand, and the other two pieces, which come out very clearly from his film, this abuse of the NDA system, the tyranny of councils and our authority systems when they get a bee in their bonnet about an individual or about a group. And the suspicion that something, or the impression that something has gone wrong with the system, again lies at the heart of Tommy Robinson's concerns. And the wider system, beyond the specifics, I think is reasonable. Something has gone wrong with the way justice and the authorities work in our country. I don't think it's about, as ever, we get to a point where you've got the identification that there's something wrong and then the solution. Tommy Robinson's solution is that we need to be less woke. I think he's wrong. I don't think woke is the concept. And actually, I don't think anybody can be, should ever be less woke. To be woke, I presume, is to be kind. And we shouldn't pull back on that. But we should be aware at the same time. And I think we should try to ensure that our public services function. And the undermining of our public services by someone like Tommy Robinson is almost as bad as the fact that they're undermined by so many factors already. And the police and the legal system are so focused on one particular person that they can identify, Tommy Robinson, that they're not bothered about all the other problems that they should be doing, that they should be dealing with, or simply by protecting ordinary people. I don't feel safe in our country. I don't feel safe in the NHS. I don't feel safe really on the streets. And I don't feel safe in our education system. Why? Because nothing is really working to support ordinary people. Instead, it's got targets and headlines. And we need to stop thinking about targets and headlines. We need to start thinking about what our authorities are intended to do. They're intended to protect, to guide, to help. And if they're not doing that job, then they're failing. And I think that's the deeper case that Tommy Robinson is bringing up. Now, I think he's all over the place. It's a scattergun approach. And he's helped by, the lovely teeth and the charm, and he has charisma in buckets. I don't be deceived by that. There's a number of tyrants in the 1930s who had charisma in buckets. But I don't think he should be dismissed out of hand simply because he's had a troubled past. And equally, I don't think the people in his story should be dismissed out of hand, or I think the technical term is libelled, simply because they've had a troubled past. We have one goal in life, and that is excellence. And failing to meet that goal is failure. But it shouldn't stop us continuing to try. And we have excellence as a goal for every single person in our society. That's our goal. And it should be, I think our activities should be predicated on kindness as well. We should try to help. Now, as for the people who were caught up in the police debacle in Manchester Airport, again, let me repeat, there can be no excuse, there can be no explanation for a policeman, an officer of the law, an authority figure, kicking somebody in the face, not once but twice. Once could be an accident, twice is deliberate. It doesn't matter what came before. Equally, there can be no excuse for two lads, thugs, whatever we want to call them, attacking the police in the way that is demonstrated ably on camera. But the fact that one person does something wrong doesn't make the other person right. The fact that one person does something right doesn't make the other person wrong. It isn't a binary choice. You've got an example of two serious assaults. And there might even be a third one, because the way the fellow was dragged from the seat onto his knees, again, was questionable. We need a professional police force, and if it's not being properly funded or trained, then it's not doing its job. It can't do its job. And if it's gauche in the face of the people, then it needs to do more stuff on the beat. The police should be accessible, just as GPs should be accessible, just as politicians should be accessible. These are the people who are interfacing with our society. And if we keep them to one side and believe that everything can be dealt with by call centres, then we are failing as a society. Because we're not individuals who need to be processed. We're all unique. And we all have our own route towards our goal. Our goal, remember, is success. And a failure to reach our success is frustration. And frustration breeds disquiet. And disquiet breeds disorder. And disorder leads to chaos. And chaos is not great. It's not impossible. In all the great creation stories, the Greek creation story, the biblical creation story, creation comes from chaos. Chaos can lead to excellence. But chaos is not a great position to aim for. We need to keep our goal in mind.